Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. You got a lot of trick-or-treaters at your place?
I really hope so. Yeah, with my kids being older, I hope we get a lot. Yeah.
How old do you think is too old to be out trick-or-treating?
If you're thinking about it, don't. You're too old.
I'm not talking about me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good question. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I haven't thought about that for a while, but probably when you get in high school, you're probably pushing it a little bit.
I remember back in the day. I don't remember if it was last year or year before you were talking about dressing up as an umpire.
I'm
As an
always
official?
kind of the same thing. I haven't dressed up today. Usually I do, but I'll go home. I have a few costumes on hand that I might have to break out and make sure the trick-or-treaters are welcomed. Well, I got a really awesome George Washington costume.
Really?
Yes, I do. So Martha and George might be passing out candy.
Jimmy said the other day that he thought even in the loss that the defense took a step and got better on that day. You agree with that?
It's hard to feel like you got better when you don't win. But like I think I said even on Monday after that game or whenever it was, I thought there was improvement in certain areas. I really do. And we played a good Oregon team and came down to a couple plays and they made them when we didn't. And so we're looking, hoping to continue improving. I mean, that's all. It's all we're about. If somebody's better than us, and we lay it on the line and we play our best, you shake their hand and move on. But it's just what do we learn and how do we improve? And I think as coaches, that's always just our mission. How are we improving? And this week we got even a bigger challenge.
How have you improved, you think, on both sides of the ball in the first 8
Well,
games of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of subtle different things, and on offense, we played a pretty darn good defense last week, and I thought there was some efficient football, and I think you're splitting hairs, and I think when you're playing a really good defense and you score 31, you're gonna be right there, and hopefully you can get a stop or two, and credit to them, they made some plays.
How is this defense that you're facing now different than the one you faced 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Still a good front, and
Oh, yeah. Well, statistically, they're much different. I mean, this is one of the top defenses in the country. And, I don't think I've ever played a team that gives up 50 yards rushing the ball at this late in the season. I don't think I have. And so, I mean, this is a top 5 defense across the board. And you pair that with how they play special teams and Zach Moss and company, how they run it. This is a heck of a challenge. I mean, they're the 9th ranked team in the country for a reason.
How does Moss compare to other backs you've seen this year?
No, different than we've seen for sure. He is. I think the thing that, like, when you watch him, he's like, man, this guy's powerful. I mean, he's hard to hit him and stop him. It's gonna have to be a few guys, and he's always falling forward. But then the thing that he brings to the table is he hits long runs. He's got deceptive speed, and maybe it's not even deceptive, but just because he's a big guy, but he can outrun guys and does it most games.
It looked like Hundley got a little dinged up against Arizona State. Did they try to protect him or use him a little differently this last
Well,
weekend?
he was a little different. He stayed in the pocket, and then, when they were doing some more quarterback runs, Shelley came in. But, they don't change it for one for the other. I just think when they knew they were going to run the ball, they brought Shelley in. But it's not like, I mean, we know they're going to bring him in, and he can throw it and do all the things that Huntley does. So, but that's what they did last week.
Does that make it tougher in the sense of, do you have to look at both games from last year? Because obviously one Hundley played in, the other one Shelley played in.
Well, not really. I mean, the offense is significantly different, and they use them the same way. I mean, like I said earlier, what's unique about these guys is this is a power offense. This is an NFL-style under-center offense with a lot of fly sweep stuff. But then they have their gun-run game. They got the gun-pass game, but it's a quarterback-run game that they do a really good job with, and that's what's unique about these guys.
Do they resemble anything that you guys have seen in the last year or two?
Not really. We've seen bits and pieces of all this stuff, but the fact how they control the ball, run the ball, efficient in the pass game, and then they'll get him, when they're playing in the shotgun, that doesn't mean they're just going to throw it or hand it off to Moss. The quarterback is a weapon.
And how has Ludwig changed his style from the last time he was at Utah?
Yeah, I don't. I've known Andy for a long time. He does a great job. And this has kind of always been his style, some version of that. And I think it plays right into what, Kyle Whittingham's always wanted to do, which is be physical, run the ball, and control the ball. And so, they got a good thing going on.
There's been some talk about fans maybe not showing up as much as they have in games past on Saturday, down about the way the year has gone. What do you say to fans that are disappointed in the way that the year's gone so
Hey,
far?
we get a lot of football left to play, and this is a heck of a team. And, I think the Husky fans are awesome. That's one of the beautiful things about this place. It's, in my experience, playing against them over the years, the Husky fans usually show up, and they show up in force, and it's an awesome place to play.
You've got your own Nakua on this roster. What about the other guy
Yeah.
over there in Sampson? What do you make of him,
Yeah.
and how far did you get down the recruiting road with Puka's brother?
Yeah, he's part of that core, and I think, I think from what we saw last year, he's more into the mix and doing some good things, and he's taller than Puka, and everybody's got their unique style, but he's doing a heck of a job.
Has there been any decision made on Ty Jones and when or if to use him?
No, not. We're trying to get him back go. He's practicing full speed, all those type of things, and I think it's really hard for a guy that hasn't been in the mix to just go, okay, here we go, we pick up where you left off, and these other guys that we got, have been grinding for a long time, kind of in a different way, and so I think before this thing's all said and done, we would like Ty back in the mix with us, but it's it's work in progress.
You said earlier that Ty wanted to redshirt, that he preferred to redshirt. Is that still the case, or is that maybe changed from his perspective a bit?
Well, it doesn't matter. Now we're at that
Right,
point where
right.
he's redshirt.
He's cool playing.
Yeah, he can play and still have his redshirt year, so that's all good. And so now it's just a matter of progressing him and him being one of the guys that can make plays more than the other guys we got going.
How's Chico doing? Seems like every week we're kind of talking about where he's at.
Chico's doing good because, like we said, when that injury happened, it's like, oh, those can be like a break. It can be a long time, but I think he's surprised everybody, even himself, and I think it'll be sooner than later before we got him rolling.
Is this part of the time of the year now, Chris, where you have to really pare down maybe the length of practice or the amount of hitting and that kind of thing?
Well, it's been unique because of our bye. So we've gotten this extra time, gotten rested up. But yes, usually this late, you are changing things dramatically. We changed, today was a little bit, shorter than normal, but we've had some extra work. And so it's been different than our normal. But if we were just playing straight through, for sure, we'd be cutting reps down. And, next week on a short week. So now we go from this time to a short week and everything's hurried up and we'll have to adjust accordingly.
And then later on, your other bye. How does that
Right.
how does that impact
Right,
things?
and so, hey, we'll use it to our advantage, again, to be able to rest our guys up and, make them a good plan going forward and get, I think it'll be good because we'll be able to practice how we want to practice. Because sometimes, as a coach, you got to cut back just physically this late in the season. And now we can get the reps that we really want to get and not overtax our guys, I think.
You got the 2 buys in 4 weeks and 2 and 6. Do you prefer that, or if you could write your own schedule, would you want one earlier in the year?
Yeah. I think you spread it out
Yeah.
and all those type of things. Especially, it's so strange because you got to buy, then you play a game, and then you go on a short week. Then we get a bye, play on a regular week, and then we got a short week again. It is what it is.
We talked about that California bill a few weeks back, and you made it clear that you were just going to kind of wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
The NCAA has
Yeah.
approved the process to start allowing players to cash in on their name, image, and likeness. What do you make of that?
I think that there's still, I don't think it's one bit different than it was before because we got to figure out, so what does that mean? And so when all that comes out and they tell us what it means, we'll adjust and we go.
Can you ever imagine living in a world where you are lining up donors and endorsements for high school players?
There's a lot of things that go on right now that I couldn't imagine in a long time, just in a short period of time that we'd be in the recruiting game. And so, I think that's the whole thing that everybody's trying to wrap their brain around. Like, okay, what is this going to look like? And is this good for the game? Is it good for the kids? And I don't think anybody has a problem with, taking care of the players better.
Yeah.
And, you know, if everybody's buying their jersey and all those type of things, that they're involved with that. I mean, I don't think people have a problem with that, but it's just, okay, so how do you do that where you're not lining up the donors to say, how are we doing this?
Is this potentially scary, you think?
I think everybody,
game?
I think everybody's trying to figure out, like, I think there's just a lot of people that want to do it the right way, you know, with not messing the game up, and these are still amateurs and all those type of things.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, guys.